Hi, everyone. My name is Cindy Campbell. Thank you so much for joining me today for this short presentation to tell you a little more about the Virtual Caregivers Network, or the VCN, and why we think it is such a worthwhile endeavor. So, a little about the agenda today. First, we're going to talk about what is the VCN, why is it important, and what is its potential. And if I could just share a little bit more about myself, my name is Cindy Campbell. I am the coordinator of the VCN, and I'm also an RN of 30 years who has a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing and a Master's in Aging and Health from Queen's University. And I've also completed 2 advanced clinical fellowships in leadership and education with the RNAO. So clearly, education and caring for older adults are big motivators for me. But my biggest motivator is my time working on the front lines. And from that, I have gained such an appreciation of not only the challenges that patients face, but certainly those challenges faced by frontline workers like PSWs. And this has led me to explore alternate options of care like cooperatives. So just a really quick diagram here about our network and where the VCN fits in before we get started. So if you can picture it like the Cooperative Care Alliance is sort of the parent, so to speak, or the anchor that gives such things as administrative and mentoring support to the home care workers' cooperatives. And off to the side, we have the VCN. So if you picture them more like a teacher or a community center that serves as the educational arm for the PSWs of the home care workers cooperatives, but in the spirit of cooperatives themselves, the VCN is open and accessible to all PSWs regardless of their practice setting. Okay, so what is the VCN? First off, the value of education of members and sharing knowledge, as we said, aligns with the values of cooperatives from around the world that are founded or share the same 7 foundational principles. Number 5 of those principles is education, training, and information. But the VCN itself is a nonprofit platform created exclusively to support personal and professional development and to foster a sense of unity for PSWs. This includes bringing recognition and acknowledgement to a profession that has been overlooked and undervalued for too long. We want to bolster PSW's confidence and professionalism, and we know one way to do that involves growing specialized knowledge and skills to equip them to manage practice challenges. So this is just an example of what the homepage of the VCN looks like and a bit more about its layout. So first off, as you can see along the top, there's various headings, including well-being and preventative health, and this has various topics such as ways to prevent workplace injury and just to support mental and physical health. Then there's the professional practice section, which contains resources on things such as special considerations for certain populations, like older adults. There's also a resource on interview and resume writing tips, and also continuing education sources so that PSWs can continue to grow knowledge. There's also a blog with recent articles, points of discussion of interest to PSWs, as well as a forum that provides a safe space that allows discussion and networking amongst PSWs. At the bottom, as you can see, there's a collection of icons, and under each of these topics, these icons will link to various topics under different learning modalities, such as podcasts or videos, just so we capture a bunch of learning styles. And all of these materials therein are based upon evidence-based data that draws upon subject matter experts and professional organizations and existing practice and guideline standards from professions like nursing that do have some applicable knowledge for PSWs as well. Additionally, we have YouTube channel, which has various in-services and guest speakers for our PSWs. And also, we've hosted various webinars ourselves, including we have an upcoming session for September that we are partnering with Hamilton Health Sciences on communication. And from this point going forward, for any of completion of our webinars or training sessions, we're going to provide certification to our PSWs so that they don't only have advanced knowledge that's going to improve their practice and client care, but also just to give them some certification to bolster their resumes and to help them advance professionally. So overall, the VCN is a living document which will morph and evolve in our continued effort to build a sense of community and empowerment for PSWs. We want to build, as we said, their specialized knowledge, try to turn them into those experts that we know they are, and to reinforce their value and the associated dignity that comes with being recognized and acknowledged for the meaningful work that they do. So why is the VCN important? Well, besides the things we just talked about, if we consider the future demographics and how older adults are going to dominate our future healthcare systems, we can better understand the importance of taking action now to support PSWs, who by all appearances will be the significant caregivers of the future. So we also need to begin to think about equitable care options like co-ops that give both older adults and PSWs who care for them the much needed voice that we need in their care and work decisions. And this is even more of an imperative, considering that our current healthcare system is already so overburdened and buckling under strain. So if we look at what statistics are looking like, not only, of course, are Canadians living longer, but Canadians are expected to see 50% increases in populations above the age of 65 and 85 over the next 20 years. And the fastest growing demographic is going to be centenarians. So we can know by this that preventative healthcare and preserving quality of life well into old age will become more and more important. And this is where engaged PSWs who are equipped with the skills and knowledge and the unique care considerations can help to become those pivotal watchdogs or sentinels, so to speak, who can prevent an older adult from ending up in an acute care hospital or long-term care facility. And with PSW's help, these older adults can maintain their independence for longer and continue living in their own homes and communities. Care burdens upon their families could be relieved, as could costly and unnecessary drain upon our already struggling universal healthcare system. So what is the VCN's future potential? Well, ultimately, we want to continue to run more workshops and offer certificate courses on various topics relevant to quality client care and personal and professional development of PSWs. And a future goal is to run a conference to teach PSWs more about cooperatives and how this model can be of such a benefit to not only them, but to the older adults living in our communities, and as we said, to our current healthcare system to build a better model. We also would love to write much needed best practice guidelines and competencies and scope of practice for home care PSWs. But unfortunately, as a struggling nonprofit, we can't do that without financial support. So please know that any help you can provide would be so very appreciated. Thank you so much for your time.